let's talk about the truth of expansion. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat everything and tell you that it's all rainbows and unicorns and butterflies. But I am going to tell you that expansion is this adventurous, grueling process that sometimes can be so challenging and so painful, and yet provide you with the most incredible rewards. Expansion is painful, and we can think about it in nature where it serves its purpose, though, right? When we think of a snake shedding its skin, they say that it's a painful process for the snake to go through, especially the moment before the skin is shed, because it's like wearing a suit that's too tight. It's like this constriction that happens. So sometimes you may find that you are going through a time of expansion and you're like, oh, this is the worst thing. I want it to go away. And maybe that's not the solution, right? Because it's about our perception. Because if we were to think of it as I'm expanding, I'm getting to my next level, it's like going to the gym. When you're working out, you're not like, oh, this is the best feeling in the whole world. I'm so happy to be like sweating and feeling this pain in my muscles. But then when you get your six pack or you get your toned body and you lose that weight, you're like, hallelujah. Like, I'm so happy I put in that effort so that I could get the results. I can get the reward. So the process of personal development, which is my line of work, I love it so much, is we are forever becoming our greatest when we choose to say yes to expansion. And I want to inspire you to do the things that will support your expansion. That's the point of, I've been going live every day for the past 5 days. Today's number 6, and tomorrow's the last day. And every day I'm touching upon a different aspect of expansion, because right now on the planet, expansion is happening rapidly. It's so important. It's such a beautiful thing that we're seeing, like people rising and shining. And that journey is not like, oh, it's so easy. Rainbow, unicorns, like we're just going to all expand in 2 minutes. No, it's not like that. It's a process and it's a journey. And I had a woman yesterday sign up for my Ultimate Woman program. And right before she was going to sign up, she felt like this fear overcome her whole body, her whole being. And she was literally like gripped with it. And I was like, okay, let's ground. And the moment we could clear that fear, she realized she was up against this point of literally clearing her family karma of beliefs around money and beliefs around what she thought was possible for herself. And she knew that by saying yes, she was expanding, because then she couldn't make excuses anymore. Then she couldn't keep sitting on that dream she has and that destiny she knows she's here to live. So it was that moment of expansion that was so uncomfortable, but I was so proud of her because she was able to see it for what it was and not fall victim to think like, I need to stay. I need to keep being small versus expanding into the greatness that I am. And that's what happens every time you go into the next level of expansion. It's scary because like you're going beyond that comfort zone. Like even when you think of expanding a balloon, it's like that stretch. And even when you stretch your body, you can feel how when you stretch your body, it's not always so comfortable. Sometimes when you stretch, it's like, but sometimes it's like, oh, wow, it hurts so good. Like, that kind of feels good. So it's the kind of stretch, it's the kind of expansion, it's the kind of growth that you're like, okay, no, this is good for me. So where in your life are you wanting, ready to expand, but you're coming against the pain or the resistance of the expansion, and you're like, oh, not yet. I don't want to do that yet. Right? That's the place you want to lean into. The place that scares you, but then you know it's for you. You know it's for your expansion. You know it's so you can reach your next level, so you can live your purpose, so that you could live your ultimate life and be like, oh my God, I'm so lucky that I get to live this life. Like, how did I get so lucky? you know exactly what you're meant to expand into. It's all in your dreams and in your desires. And even as a guide for people's expansion, I go through it myself tons of times, all the time. I'm going through one right now. Because when you want to expand, it's like you're not happy with like what is in terms of status quo. You're grateful for it, you know it's all good, and you know there's more. So for me, for example, I've actually had people be like, oh my gosh, you're like a superwoman, like with my body and stuff. Like, I don't really work out that hard, and I do have a beautifully toned body. I'm so grateful. Thank you to the gods for making my body. That said, I know where there's any kind of tweak or misalignment in my body. So I decided that I was going to go see a chiropractor because I kind of knew that one of my neck vertebrae was like a little bit out, and I kept wanting to like crack my own neck, and my left shoulder was kind of like pinched a little where I would sometimes need to pop it. And then same thing with my left hip. And I was like, okay, I know there's something here for me to better align so that I can expand into a greater beingness, because I practice what I preach. So then I went to a chiropractor who was like, oh, you don't have a problem with your left shoulder and your left hip. The issue is 2 of your vertebrae, one in your sacrum and one in your neck, they're out. So we need to just put them back in. And when I tell you, I wasn't in pain in my spine, but when I tell you going to realign myself ended up being a painful process. And I, instead of seeing it as like, oh, poor me, I have this back pain now. It's like, yes, like now I'm going to be even more aligned so that I can show up even greater with brighter energy for my clients, for my social media following, for all the books that I write, for how I think, because everything is about our alignment. And sometimes to get into alignment, we need to be disciplined, we need to challenge ourselves, we need to take risks, and we need to be willing to expand and lean into painful processes, because sometimes you don't want to look at the things that are uncomfortable to look at. But that's okay. Like, it's part of the process, and that's the point of this video today, is I'm here to remind you about the truth. And the truth is that expansion can be scary. Expansion can be painful. Expansion can make you want to run for the hills and stop what you're doing and go back into your comfort zone where you're all cuddly on the couch watching a movie. But that's not what you came here to do. You came here for more. You have bigger dreams and bigger goals than what it is you're sitting on. And this is a little poke and reminder that those things that you think about and dream about are destined for you. It's a matter of if you're ready, if you're wanting, if you're willing. And if you choose yourself and you say yes to your expansion, it's going to be the most beautiful ride of your life. And that's the other truth. That is the life journey, is your journey of expansion. And it is joyful, and there are so many beautiful triumphs and blessings. And despite all the little bumps in the road where you learn all your beautiful lessons, the journey is a journey worth walking. I'm so passionate about supporting people in their expansion. I left being a doctor because I knew that ultimate health and ultimate embodiment and ultimate living and ultimate love is beyond what any prescription can do for you, is beyond what even disease means. Because disease is even there to teach you for your expansion. And these are next level concepts that I'm not going to go into here. But I really, really invite you, wherever you are in your life, to say yes to your expansion, to say yes to your growth, to say yes to what it is you've been wanting to call in this time. Walk through the fires of your fear. Walk through the pain. It's just a stepping stone on the way to your greatness. So I trust that this transmission today has been supportive for you, to support you in your evolution and your awakening and your expansion, because this is the time we're going through on the planet. It's time, it's time. It's time to rise. It's time to expand. I oftentimes feel like the stern mother that's like, come on, everyone, wake up, wake up, wake up. So I invite you to connect with me, message me. If you're looking for support in your expansion, I would love to direct you in the right ways and places to do that. Hi, Tian. And I love sharing these beautiful truths with all of you and see how it resonates within your being, because now is the time for your expansion. Now is the time to walk through the fires of fear. Now is the time to rise up. And you've been sitting, procrastinating, waiting. This is the message you've been waiting to receive. This is that sign you've been waiting to receive. You know, yesterday we talked about signs. It's time. Now is the time. If it's not now, when? 1% of people, I should rather do it the other way. It's 99% of people are the ones who never change their lives. So let's hope that you are the 1%. So I invite you to always ask me any questions you can, in the comment section here, share about what it is that you're feeling challenged in your expansion. Like, what's challenging you? Where is it that you're wanting support, or how? And the truth is, actually, this is going to be tomorrow's topic, is that your expansion is inevitable. And we'll talk about more about what I mean by that, but you can choose to really make it an easier process and a graceful process based on how you perceive it to be, your perceptions. And that's the point of all these videos, is to support that grace for you so that it's easier. It happens with ease, it happens with grace, it happens with beauty, because it is ultimately inevitable. Oh, thank you so much. The Oshun vibe with the yellow dress. Yeah, I got my shoulders out. So I'm going to go enjoy this beautiful spring day and get a chiro adjustment. So I'm still going through my adjustments to support my expansion. And yeah, when I get adjusted, I'm like, it's painful in moments. But guess what? I'm expanding. I'm realigning my body to a higher vibration. So where does your mind need a recalibration for expansion? Where does your body, your energy, your spirit, your perception? Now's the time, my loves. Well, I wish you all such a beautiful day. If you're just tuning in, you can catch the replay. And I invite you to share your comments, your questions.